It is Epiphany, which is sort of a big holiday here in Greece. And the big activity that happens on today is the blessing of the waters. I tried to get someone to teach me how to say it in Greek yesterday and it did not go well. This happens in almost every area. Even if they don't have a body of water, they will do it somehow. If you're in Athens, they do it in Kolonaki at the ancient reservoir at Epiphany. But I'm down in Piraeus today because this is where the big one happens. I don't know if you can see behind me the big worship because the sun is right in my way because it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. And so what happens is the priest will come and they will do some ceremony things, which I won't understand, unfortunately. And then eventually they will throw a cross in the water and people will jump in after it, usually young men, and whoever gets it has good luck for the whole year. I was told to get down here early. It doesn't happen for like another hour because it gets very crowded. And at first I thought there wasn't anyone here. There are definitely people here already. So the church that this happens at that I showed you in the opening is St. Spiridon, and so there's like services happening over there. Obviously I didn't go in because I don't understand what's happening, but yeah, there's a big, well, I say big worship, it's not that big. There's another one over there, and then there's this area where there's like VIPs, and that's kind of where the taxi dropped me off. That's why I thought there was not anybody here, and then I walked a little bit further down and realized there were, although it's not as crowded as I thought it was gonna be because I was told this is like usually huge and you need to get here early. I don't regret getting here early, so it was definitely worth it.
25 miles and maybe in Athens, 24 and 28 is...
So we have a small issue. The sun is like right in the direction of where I'm filming, so I don't know how much you're gonna be able to see, so we'll see what happens, but hopefully I'll get the aftermath of them like getting in the water. Try to hopefully edit it and zoom in so you can see. I couldn't even see anybody come up with the cross, but still a really cool experience. If I wanted to be on the front, I would have probably had to get here at like 9 o'clock and stand here for like 2 hours. So that's my suggestion though. If you want to come and see it and be like super close, you got to come really early. It was kind of a shame that I couldn't see a lot. I got to see when they jumped in. However, I couldn't see who came up with the cross, but anyway, it was still a cool experience. And the people that were talking to me that were behind me, he was Greek and he says he's never come down here before. So I was like, okay, that makes me feel good that I'm doing something that not everyone does. I'm taking the metro back to my apartment from Piraeus, and I came into the Piraeus metro and there's a new coffee stand. It's really nice. I don't even remember what was there before. That's nice. Now you can sort of get a coffee, get on the train, and or get off the train and get a coffee. So you guys may be wondering about my suitcase that I mentioned in my last video. It did make it. It got to me about 2 days later. I just got an email saying, oh, we found your bag and it's coming on January 1st. So I didn't know if it was actually gonna get delivered on the 1st because obviously New Year's Day is a holiday. But yes, it landed on like the 1 o'clock flight from London. And then I had it, I think it got it by 5:45. So not the end of the world. However, next year or the next time I go home or anywhere, I will be putting an AirTag in my bag. Not because I didn't think that they would get it to me, but they just couldn't tell me anything. They couldn't tell me where my bag was. All right, guys, I have to buy a washing machine. I have been here for 3 years and have not bought one. It is time, so let's see how this process goes. And of course, they didn't have the one I wanted. So They had it on the floor, but not in stock. So I've got to go look somewhere else. I walked down to another store and they don't have the machines in the store. They only carry them online. So much to my dismay, I am probably going to have to buy this machine online if I want what I want. And I just don't like that here because I have questions and we'll see what happens. Today is not my day. Thought I would go to Cosmote and get an eSIM for my new phone, but they're out of stock. I'm not sure how you're out of stock of a SIM card that doesn't physically exist, but I'm not even gonna try. I asked twice and I gave up. So now I'm gonna go eat lunch. I'm eating at Ergon House, which is like this gourmet grocery store in downtown Athens. So you can come and eat lunch or you can buy groceries. They have a butcher's, they have a fishmonger's, they have everything. I've never eaten here, so I'm excited to try it. That is some amazing looking mushroom risotto and it smells fabulous. The plate is interesting. They said to be careful because it's hot, so let's see how it is. Okay, that was really good. A little bit expensive, but worth it. People ask me a lot what Greece is like in January. And in Athens, we get a lot of rain. Now, it's been pretty nice, but usually once it starts raining, it's here to stay. Like, we'll have some sunny days, but then it'll rain like once or twice a week. And last year, this was actually snow because it was cold enough that it was snow. So this is supposed to go on for several hours this morning. This is definitely a day that if I was in Athens visiting, that I would be hitting a museum or two because it is just really coming down. Like, it's a lot of rain and it's also the wind is blowing. That's actually how I knew it had rained, because if you see the fabric awnings, I have those as well on my apartment and I could hear mine bouncing up and down. So if you're coming in the winter or even in the spring, plan to have some days, at least one or two, where you do inside activities, because you just never know what Mother Nature is going to throw at us here. As you can see, the rain has stopped. It did rain for a couple of hours, but it did stop eventually. I don't know if it's going to rain tomorrow or not, but it kind of gives you an idea of what Athens is like in January. You just never know what you're going to get in terms of weather. I'm down in this area because I have an appointment, so I thought I'd just come down a little bit early and see what it's like down here in January. Little Kook still has their Christmas decorations up, so if you're coming in January in the first week or so, you may still get to see it. I still haven't quite figured out when they do this changeover, so it is Tuesday, January 10th, and they still haven't made the changeover. So I imagine they're gonna do it soon though, because Epiphany was Friday, and usually that marks the end of Christmas season in the Orthodox calendar, so I wonder how long it takes them to do a changeover as well. And I don't know what the next one will be. Maybe it'll be Valentine's Day or maybe St. Patrick's Day. We'll see. I don't know, over in that square that I was in at Christmas time, or before, actually it was in the beginning of December, and look how less crowded it is compared to then. I don't know if that's just because Christmas is over or because it was raining today, but there's like hardly anyone here compared to then. So I don't know, January is nice and quiet, or it's the rain. I should come down here later on the weekend and see. You might be seeing that a lot of people are sitting outside despite the fact that it's January, and I will say that has nothing to do with the fact that it's not as cold as it usually is. It's everything to do with the fact that Greece likes to be outside all the time. So if you come, you need to A, dress for the weather, B, don't worry about it, because there are heaters at almost every restaurant. I actually love the heaters because even though it doesn't, feel exactly like a fire, it sort of has the warmth of a fireplace. So it's kind of nice to go and sit under them. If it's really cold, then obviously it's not super pleasant, but rarely does it ever get super cold here. to run an errand, and the Christmas tree is gone, and they're taking the lights out of the tree. So the Christmas decorations in Athens are gonna slowly disappear. I did notice that the Christmas lights hanging from a lot of the street lights are still up, and they were still on last night, but I think that will probably end in the next couple of days. As you can see, the rain stopped. Yesterday it was actually super sunny, but today it's cloudy again, although it's not supposed to rain. And it did get a little bit cooler, not by much, but it's definitely cooler than it has been. It's been in like low 60s and now it's in the upper 50s. So, but definitely not as cold as last year. But the thing about coming to Athens in January is you just don't know what kind of weather you're gonna get until probably like a week or two before. So you kind of have to be prepared for it to either be like this or really cold and possibly snowing. As you can see, it's now a beautifully sunny day the next day, and even though it's about the same temperature, I don't need a jacket today because it feels so much nicer. So you just never know what you're gonna get in January in Athens. That's gonna be it this week, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you'll consider subscribing, and I'm gonna leave you now with this beautiful Greek sunset.